Hello and welcome to Geoscope with me, Graham Hughes, and Ollie Bowler Hat Man. How you doing, Ollie? You
I'm
alright,
all right.
mate? You alright? We missed you last week.
Oh, well, couldn't be helped last week.
What were we supposed to be talking about that we missed last week? I've forgotten. Millet.
Yeah, Millet.
He's not doing too well with the old
Oh, it's
economy
it's
over
gotten
there, is
even
he?
worse
Go
from
on.
since when we talked about it. Should we start with the
Yeah,
crazy labor laws
yeah, go on.
that he's bringing in? Yeah. So for those who don't know, Argentina has had very quite a big sort of socialist past, um, and that has resulted in a lot of very strong labor laws in Argentina. It's quite something that they quite like a lot, having the very strong unions and strong laws in and regarding those. Millet has come in and pretty much demolished all these. So some of the things that they've got, um, easier firing practices now. You can pretty much be fired almost on the spot, apparently, by your employer. They're now increasing the trial period for your employment. So obviously we have your 3 6 months, when you first get employed. That is now gone up to apparently over a year. So
Wow.
that's wild that you can just be fired any second within potentially your first
Yeah.
year of employment. On that, they're going to also allow businesses to pay you now in not only foreign currency, but they will also allow a company to pay you in food.
In food.
Yes.
Food.
Yes.
Food.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think that's been a thing since like Oliver Twist.
Yeah. That's the one of the craziest ones that they are now um like allowing you to like a business just to pay you in food. It's
Holy
absolutely
shit.
wild.
Oh my God. What a time to be alive. But you know who isn't alive? Jesse Jackson. He
Hmm.
died at the age of 84. The family statement read, emphasized freedom, dignity, and justice. He'd been diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2017. Tributes have come across have come out from across the political spectrum. In fact, even Donald Trump wasn't too horrible. He didn't say that he died of Trump derangement syndrome like he did when Rob Reiner died a couple of months ago. But he was important in the civil rights movement. He was a close ally of Martin Luther King. He was present during the 1968 assassination of Dr. King, and also he was absolutely pivotal in Martin Luther King Day becoming a national holiday in America. He built multiracial political alliances in the 1980s, and he elevated issues like not just rights for African Americans, but also gay rights, women's leadership, economic justice, and laid the groundwork for Obama's 2008 victory, which seems like another world now, doesn't it? It's not just like it
Mm.
was a long time ago. It feels like another world. Um, but he had a role as an international diplomat in his later years, and his life represented an expansion of democratic participation, but also, a belief that, the institutions of America will hold, which is being severely tested at the moment. I just want to say a big shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got Diz in there, we've got Harry Flashman, we've got Dinoshard, we've got Mr. Bowler Hatman, whatever. I don't know who that is. We've got Miss Paula Thomas, we've got Tim Ballum, we've got Pete's Music in there as well. If you'd like to join our friends in the chat, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button and wait for 1 minute, and then we can crack on. So, what else has been going on, Ollie?
Oh, can we go back to Argentina because this is
Oh,
another wild
yes,
story that
go on.
I found out as well.
Go on. We like a
When
bit
I
of
was looking at
Argentina.
these labor reforms, um, there has now been a uptake, according to a lot of financial terms, for now people expressly taking out loans to buy food. And this is all part of course, Millet's big economic shock, or shock therapy, as he is as it's being dubbed. Um, they've stripped away. One of the first things they stripped away a lot of subsidized food. The markets and sort of the food prices went absolutely crazy at one point. I think we talked about it right at the beginning, where they were talking about the prices were changing that fast. People would take something off the shelf, and then by the time they got it to the checkout, the price would have changed and gone up substantially, like 3 or 4 times
Yeah, but
of the.
that was before Melee, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that
That
was
was
that
the
was
case
no, that
then.
was before he came in. That was one of the first things he did. In when he was first bringing a lot of those reforms, because he moved a lot of the subsidies for like food for poor people and things like that. But now they are like it's expanded uh by about 40%. It's gone up by
Yeah,
since Malay's come in. So that is a large percentage of the population now going into debt,
right.
or taking out loans just to specifically go and buy food. Yeah, Argentina is not going in a very good direction, especially for the fact there's also been a crypto crash in Argentina.
Oh, you kidding me?
Uh,
Crypto? No
yeah,
way. Oh, I love crypto. It
yeah,
never goes
I
wrong.
know. Just this massive Argentina news when we begin with. So
Oh my God.
this again, this is linked to Millet as well. It's called Latem, I believe it is. For like what the name of the coin is from what I remember off the top of my head. And this is linked to, of course, Millet. This was part of the coin. If people remember, I think we just covered this as well. I think late last year, where he was like caught manipulating like the price of this currency,
Sounds
or
like
at least
something
the
he'll do.
coin. It has absolutely crashed. Um, has this coin, and a lot of people have lost a lot of money in this.
I thought they didn't
Um,
have any money. How could they lost money if they hadn't got any money to start with?
oh yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, I don't think Argentina's going to have a very good year. I think we might be talking about them quite a lot
Yeah.
as we go throughout the year. Honestly, it's it is very very bad at the moment, especially with like the labor overhauls that they're doing, as we've just talked about. A lot of these are going to be very, very like I think very, very bad when it comes to a lot of them. Oh, another thing they've done is because
Oh,
Argentina used to have their unions, because they had like one union, and they used to sort of like do collective bargaining, not for just like one company, but they used to do it for like the whole country.
yeah.
They had collective bargaining pretty much for the whole country for that entire sector. That is now gone as well in these labor laws as well. Pretty much now, only it's down now to individual company level agreements, which is what we normally have here. But
Yeah.
those labor laws did very, very much protect Argentinians, especially the workers. A lot of those low level companies that gave them a very, very high average wage, especially in South America, because
Mm,
of that. Um, so that is now gone as well. And if you factor all this stuff that's going in, um, you factor in the fact that we've just talked about the fact that that increase now of people now having to take out loans just to buy food in Argentina. Yeah, it is not going to be good. There were riots in the streets to the point of this that they had when this was being passed and talked about in the Senate. Unfortunately, it has passed the lower house.
yeah.
The unions are talking about now trying to find a way to go and challenge it
Yeah.
in a court of law. So we'll see if that if that passes, or we'll
Yeah.
see if that gets stopped, or we'll see if this happens or gets stopped later in another section of the government. But the fact that there's been such universal pushback to this, and they've kept on um, pushing this through hard,
Yeah.
is insane. But there's, unfortunately, as Millie says, there's more to come.
Wow. Well, Miss Paul Thomas, thank you very much for the first super chat of the evening. Argentina is heading for economic collapse. Well, yes and no, because although this economic shock therapy is horrific for the people of Argentina and anyone watching with
Mm.
like any semblance of decency or honor, the IMF are looking at this going, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
This is the Chicago School of Economics. They think, oh yeah, cool, just destroy everything and then see what happens. And also, don't forget, he's just been bailed out to the tune of $40 billion by Donald Trump a couple of months ago. And there's obviously stop Trump doing that again. I mean, you talk about the corruption, the cryptocurrency, and
Mm.
these fucking daft NFTs and shit that they've been touting to people, which are absolutely fucking worthless. And these people are like, they get looked up to on the internet because like they make videos, and people go, "Oh, they must be very clever if they make videos." And then it turns out they spent like £500,000 on an NFT
Yeah.
that's not worth a wet copy of the fucking Liverpool Echo now. And you're just like, what?
Yeah. I mean,
these are the
it's
clever
just
ones, are
insane.
they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just insane that the fact that we've still like I'm glad that NFTs have like completely bombed. Like they've absolutely they've bombed now. No one is using like any NFTs for any of these any of these things at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now, like any NFTs that were bought initially during like the big boom period are not worth anywhere close to what they were close to originally worth now. Crypto, of course, is still going because it's
Popped
a
up
lot of
by
money has
pop,
been put into
popped up by
these
criminals and
things.
tyrants, people
Yeah,
traffickers, sex traffickers,
yeah,
pedophiles,
and
drug dealers, all the best people.
yeah, and the big thing about crypto is the big thing that's come from it. The big piece of tech that's come from it is the whole blockchain stuff. And I've always said the blockchain stuff will outlive crypto. Because that is kind of a very interesting piece of technology that certainly if we do like go forward now, like everyone now, we are going to an ever more cashless society, and things like a having blockchain stuff to track your transactions for like safety reasons, or let's say if someone steals your data and information, then it's a lot easier to track down perpetrators that might steal your information than it is now. So that is a kind of interesting safety
Through
feature that we're
blockchain.
seeing. Yeah.
How come people keep getting like the entire Bitcoin wallets
Well,
robbed?
that's because it's all unregulated.
Oh,
That's more like people stealing passwords
yeah.
and
And
things like
there's
that.
no
And
money back, is there? If someone
yeah, because
steals
it's
your
again
crypto,
none of
none of it's
it's
regulated, none of
safe,
it's
none of it's
insured.
regulated, so there's no
Yeah,
protection at all. There was a story not too long ago. There was apparently uh, a streamer who accidentally showed his wallet code like on stream,
yeah.
and like he lost like $10 million in like instantly because someone just saw it and just went fine now.
Wow.
Then again, there's nothing you can do about it because none of it's regulated, none of it's kept. It's they know where the money is, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they know where it is, but you can't do anything about it really because again, there's no protections for it, and it's yeah, it's a wild world of crypto when you look more into it and you look into some of like the wild stories. I mean, we covered the infamous one we covered about the North Korean hackers, if you
Yeah,
remember,
yeah,
where they the Philippines had created this new sort of pseudo Pokemon game run via like crypto coins and things like that. You can make purchases, and of course, the North Koreans hacked into it and stole all the crypto coins from it in one of the biggest like crypto heists in history. Um, so yeah, it's a wild west of data on that one for sure.
yeah. Indeed, it is. So yeah, I mean, moving on, we've got. Actually, without moving on, SG's been a member for 13 months. How cool is that? A year and a month. That is.
Yeah.
Look at how good my mental arithmetic is. Saying so, Visa, Mastercards could be turned off in the UK. There's a real worry now that American finance has this power over every single credit card transaction in the UK. Pretty
Yep.
much is either Visa or Mastercard, and they're feeling this across Europe as well. Some European banks have got together and said, "Hey, what should we do about this?" And some UK banks separately, and I don't know, together with their European partners, have also said we need to do something about this. So
Yep.
we might be getting a brick card, we might be getting a European card. Um, they've given it some terrible name like Security Co. or something, and like, oh,
Mm.
I think that's just a placeholder name until they think of something good. But yeah, the the post-war consensus that we'll just have America to rely on can't be relied on anymore. So
I mean, you look at obviously Russia. Part of the sanctions was um, to turn off the SWIFT banking system for them,
yeah,
so that they can't make payments now through that system. Um, and you can see the amount of economic damage that's done to Russia. Um, if Donald Trump really wanted to hurt people, he could demand very similar things on this as well. You've seen the chaos that Elon Musk has caused to the Ukrainians when he gave them Starlink initially, and they were using it, and then he would just turn it off, and
yeah,
then turn it back on again, and then turn it off again, just because he could. There's a lot of, I think, things that, again, because of this, because of everything that the US has been saying, that they're now like, right, okay, we need now like European versions of this,
yeah,
of these things. Of course, the whole like alternative to like Visa and Mastercard, certainly payment systems as well, is going to be something I think that probably needs to be looked to. Um, we are actually in a very, very good position for that as the UK. Uh, outside America, the big two countries in fintech are us and Estonia.
yeah.
So that is something that we have actually quite a nice position with as well. So we could definitely do something with that position that we have.
Yeah. EU card would be better, lower cost, and how long? Asked Tim. I think they're talking about launching it next year in 2027. Don't forget, I mean, all the stuff to set it up
Yeah,
is there already. It's just a case of, it's not like you have to make it from scratch because obviously we already have Visa, we have MasterCard. I mean, back in the day, we used to have Switch and Solo and things like that, and Access.
mm.
Do you remember Access? Diners Club. But yeah, so the infrastructure's there, the point of sale bits and bobs are there, and they don't have to be um, uh, uh, Visa or
It's
Mastercard.
building the infrastructure around it as well. That's
Yeah,
going to take some time as well. So that'll be something to watch
yeah.
when that happens.
So, did you hear about this project to create a frictionless post-Brexit trade border? Did you hear about this? So
Is this?
the British government under the Tories spent like fucking billions on
Oh
this
yes,
bollocks, right?
the white
And
elephants.
there was 110 million pounds, 110 million pounds of taxpayers' money that the Tory government spent on this thing that they gave that money to Deloitte and to IBM, and it got paused in 2024, I think, when the election happened, and now the government's officially shelved it. So that was a lot of money that we're not getting back.
Yeah.
And obviously we're moving towards more frictionless trade on food standards, animal welfare, sanitary and
Again,
phytosanitary
all very good stuff
arrangements.
to move for, but
But that's
all
next
that
year.
stuff that was built
I
is
know,
it's not needed now.
I know.
Because yeah, the
We built
more
massive
frictionless trade
warehouses
is
and all
is a
kinds
lot
of
better.
shit.
You know? Who who
Yeah,
who knew who knew
yeah,
frictionless trade would be so good and
yeah.
good for your economy?
Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Credit card clearance in the EU, less money to US, which is always good, I guess. No, it is always good. I don't know why I'm saying I guess. It just is. Shein, the company, are being investigated by the EU. The latest company have come under the spyglass of the EU. Not too happy about that. And yeah, there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of weeks, well, last few weeks now, about these Russian tankers that have been the shadow tankers
Mm.
that have been intercepted by well, first of all, it was the US, but now Germany, the UK, France has taken one of these ships and said, look, we can't have these ships.
Yeah.
going around the
And
world, changing their flag, changing their name every day, and
yeah,
God
I mean,
knows where they're going.
I know this is a Donald Trump thing, but honestly, you've got to turn around and just go, you know what? He actually did something good by like starting off taking these shadow fleet
Was it
tankers.
him though? Was it him? Was it
It
because he doesn't know what day it is, mate?
well, yeah, it might have been Rubio. To be honest, it
I
might have
think it's
probably
just
well
people
been
in the
Rubio.
Pentagon.
But,
They've got a plan, and they just go, "How do we get Trump to go along with this shit?" Oh,
but
we'll
it's
say
something that's
this, we'll
been
say that, we'll say the other, whisper it in his ear.
it's something that's been needed to be done and to tackle this problem because this is as we've talked about before, this is one of like the biggest revenue generators for Russia. And the fact that doing this now has caused was it India, I believe, that have now said, right, we're no longer going to buy um energy now from Russia.
Yeah,
So that was huge news, and that will be a massive blow to Russia. The fact that India's now we're not buying your energy anymore.
yeah,
We're not risking the taking those tankers in now.
yeah,
So that is a huge blow to Russia. That leaves them even more in debt now to China,
yeah,
which is something Putin doesn't want to do too overly well. Um, you know, China has designs on a lot of territory in the east of Russia, so that might be the cost of that eventually. Who knows? Um, but Iran is now in a situation at the moment politically where things do not seem 100% stable on that one. So if the current regime falls, who knows where like the chips may lie on what new government and how they are going to react and what they are going to do, politically and economically on
yeah.
this front. Um, so it's very very interesting. The other thing we should also note out: we've also passed 5 years now into this war,
Well,
as of
we're entering the fifth year, aren't we?
entering the
Yeah.
fifth year now of this war.
Of this 3 day
Um,
special operation, you
yeah,
mean?
this 3 day special operation.
God, that was a long 3 days.
Mm.
A very long
and
3 days.
and we must really acknowledge what the Ukrainians have done recently. They pushed Elon Musk to turn off Starlink for the Russians. They've been saying for a very very long time that the Russians are using Starlink, that you're
Yeah,
turning it off for us. Why aren't you turning it off for them as well? So this has now put a lot of they've now put a lot of pressure on Musk and apparently to the US. He turned off Starlink now for these Russians, and in a single day, the Ukrainians have wiped out 3 months worth of advances by the Russians, and I believe the current operations are still ongoing. So they may have
yeah.
even wiped out more by now at this point.
Well, and this is why there is currently peace talks going on
Yep.
in Geneva, in Switzerland, today, in fact. So representatives, obviously, Zelensky was there, but representatives from other countries, apparently trade envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were there, or are there. They're having separate meetings with Iran because there's also Iran peace
Yeah. Oh yeah.
talks
Well, we'll
going
talk
on.
about the Iran separate one in a moment because that's
But
yeah.
President Trump this weekend, he's veered. He's veered like a drunken, mad twat between criticizing Moscow or Kyiv, sometimes both at the same time.
Yep.
But he reverted this week to placing blame on Volodymyr Zelensky, uh, suggesting that Ukraine were holding up efforts to end the war. They were holding up by saying, no, we don't want to give away a fifth of our country to Russia. No, that's what we don't want to do.
Yeah.
So apparently there's going to be no news. There was no news today.
Yeah,
But
I am not optimistic about these talks either. I will be very very surprised if anything does come from these talks.
yeah,
Um, but the fact that I think as a lot of people have pointed out now, the the Russian death toll is blown well past now. Not only the Afghanistan, uh, they've got out of like I think they've almost at this point reached World War II levels almost. Like
No,
she's
no,
they're on the
it
way.
was like
Well, I think
50 million or
it's
something
not that, but I
fucking
think they're
crazy.
reaching like this year
It's gone
they're
on
meant to be
longer.
reaching like the weekly
Yeah,
death toll or
yeah,
something like that, or at least matching that apparently.
yeah.
So that will be something to watch out for.
It's now officially gone on longer than the
Yeah, the
war
World
between
War
the
II. Yeah.
not World War Two, but
Well, their World War II.
USSR
Yeah.
versus Nazi Germany, because that only
Yeah.
started in 1941. It didn't start in 1939. But yeah, the Russian troops, this Starlink being cut couldn't have
Yeah.
come at a worse time for them, because it's fucking cold, full of snow where they are. Um, the morale of the troops, the Russian troops, must be below fucking zero, and they think that by blowing up Ukrainian infrastructure, electricity, um, generating plants and substations and things. They think that by destroying that they're going to destroy the morale of the Ukrainian
Yeah.
people, and they're finding this actually the absolute bloody opposite of that. Before we go on, though, Tim Ballon's put another £5 in the super chat fund. Thank you very much, Tim. That's very kind of you. Ilona is pooing himself as Triple X AI is under investigation as owners Starlink to make it banned from the EU,
Yeah.
because X got bought by XAI, and now SpaceX has now bought XAI. So it's the only rocket ship company in history to also run a social media network where you
Yeah.
can take the clothes off children digitally.
And there's rumors about why this is being done apparently, because this is costing him so much money. Like like Twitter is basically just burning through huge amounts of money. It's not profitable. So apparently he's had to now consolidate, and this is what's been going on with those buyouts and those mergers on this one. The big one to watch out for will be if Elon sells Tesla stock in the next coming weeks or months. If Elon starts selling Tesla stock, then things are in a lot of trouble if he starts selling that.
Tesla, whose sales are just plummeting around the world. No one's interested.
Yep.
No one wants his fucking cars. I mean, I think in Germany, like the sales went down year on year, like something like 70% or something. Man, it wasn't quite that in
I know
the
it's
UK, but
crazy the
it was a
amount of
lot.
sales they've lost.
Yeah. So basically, what happened with the Starlink satellites is all Starlink satellite communications in and around Ukraine were limited to only registered users. And so what the Russians are doing now is they're putting out a plea to Ukrainians to say, will you give us your passwords? Will you give us your username and your password? And like, the Ukrainians just like, no. It's just like, why? And they're offering them money. And it's why would they fucking do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'll go, all right then. Can you not blow up my apartment block, please, where I live? Yeah, it's just, but yeah, the impact of Starlink disruption on Russian military operations cannot be underestimated. It is
Yeah.
pretty
Like I say,
stark.
they wiped out like 3 months of advance in a single day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's been 2 weeks now since they were turned off, and they're saying that it's not affected them. It's not affected them, but we know that it has, because it's it's Russia, isn't it? Everything they say is a fucking lie. So yeah, there's some other stories going on around the world. There's been a new prime minister of Bangladesh, I believe, who's been sworn in, which is nice for Bangladesh, I guess. But that's linked in with the Tulip City. Tulip Sadiq. Is that her name? The Labour MP. Oh god, I get her name right. Bloody hell. Just one sec. Yeah, it's Tulip Sadiq. Thank you. Thought I was talking bollocks there. It was her auntie, wasn't it, who was the old prime minister of Bangladesh, and now she's living in exile in India, and she's had a death sentence not carried out, but death sentence imposed on her from abroad, from Bangladesh. So I don't think she'll be going home anytime soon. Also, the former Thai prime minister has been put in jail. Do you know about
No.
this? The Thai prime minister who was uh, um, Thaksin Shinawatra. He's now serving a 1 year sentence. He was given he was like 15 years or something once, but then he was paroled and pardoned when he first came back to Thailand. But his family have ruled over, or nudged in Thailand in various directions for years, and his daughter was the prime minister who was caught having a WhatsApp chat or something with the leader of Cambodia, who they were nominally at war with, and she was texting them like going, "Oh no," talk about the Thai guard, saying what a bunch of knobheads. But one of the big worries in Thai society, and one of the reasons why there is a war between the conservatives and the more liberal side of things, and why it gets so dirty and people go into jail and things, it's because of this fucking lese majesty. Is it called lese majesty law? This is like you
Yeah,
can't say
yeah.
anything mean or nasty about the king
Yeah, so
or
he
the royal
took over.
family.
Do you remember when he took over? I think in like a coup, or he did something a couple of years ago, and he took over, and it
Yeah.
was because you're not allowed to write anything bad about the king. The top news story of that day was about socks. If you remember that, that was a couple of years ago when that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of a weird story when that happens.
I'm just saying, Tulip Sadiq, she's part of the private school mafia. Might have to add her to the list. If she's not already been, she must have already been added. I would have picked it up ages ago. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked and offended if I didn't pick her up. Let's have a look. Tallulah Riley, Tamara Beckworth, Tanya Roberts, Teddy Goldsmith, Tim Berners-Lee, Tim Rice, Tim Martin, Tim Vine, Tim Westwood. That's Tony Blair, Tucker Carlson. Oh no, she's not there. There's no one on the Tulip. Oh, I'm gonna have to add Tulip Sadiq to. She went to Mill Hill School. It's very expensive. Anyway, so getting off the subject here a little bit. So what else is happening, Ollie? Have you got any other news that you were going to pick
Oh
up?
yes, Iran, because we were talking
Oh
about
yes, we're
peace
going
talks.
to come back to this.
Yeah, this is just so dumb. This is just so dumb. This all goes back to, of course, the Iran nuclear deal, and you must remember that the US already had a Iran nuclear deal. This was negotiated by Obama.
Was it?
The conservatives hated it, but at the same time, they couldn't really oppose it because it gave them sort of everything they wanted. And it also meant that they wouldn't have to go to war with Iran, even though many of them really, really want to go to
Yeah,
war with
yeah,
Iran. So this, the Iranian nuclear deal basically on paper was we have a load of money that has been frozen for years due to sanctions and other things. We're going to unfreeze this if you allow UN nuclear weapons inspectors to inspect your nuclear weapons, that you are open, you are honest about this. As long as you do this and you follow through this, then we will unlock more money that we hold for you. So it was incredibly successful. One of the best deals ever that you could have possibly thought. And of course,
yeah.
what did Trump think about this? Remember, Trump has an absolute hate boner for Obama.
He does.
So no matter what Obama ever did, like literally, if Obama cured cancer, like Donald Trump would be like,
How
we
dare
have to
he?
make cancer great again.
Yeah,
We have to get our doctors working on a brand new strain for cancer. We have to bring it back. That is how petty like Donald Trump is when it comes to anything with Obama. So he has been destroying everything and anything that has Obama's name or legacy to it. And the Iran nuclear deal was one of those things. Probably one of the best deals in around. solved a lot of problems. Even Europe and the EU, we were a part of it as well because it was that good a deal. And now they are in in as you said in Geneva
Mm.
as well, having talks with Iran to try and start a new nuclear deal. Now, what this deal is going to look like, who knows? But I honestly expect it to be the exact same deal, just with the Trump Iran deal. I can guarantee you now that might very well be one of the outcomes on
Is
this.
this going to be like the Trump and Kennedy Memorial Center?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's because it's Iran has been going through this even through the Biden years. They were like, yeah, that deal that we had was really good. Can we just like re-sign to it? But the
Mm.
only thing that they wanted to, which was reason why Biden couldn't re-sign it, was they wanted assurances that you know Trump couldn't come back and just rip it up again, which you can't do. They can't give assurances like that. So it stopped the deal from pretty much being signed at that point, to a point where even like the UK and Europe were having separate talks with Iran to basically try and some sort of like European style deal with Iran along those lines, but they would not sign it until America had like committed to signing their part of it as well. So again, it just never got signed, and I think we are basically going to see uh, word for word, chapter and verse copy and paste of this deal again, but
Yeah,
just with Trump's name slapped on it.
yeah, yeah. Um, I, what a waste of time.
Uh,
What a waste. Just what a,
the other,
I think that's just the summing up of our time, isn't it? What a waste of fucking time.
yeah.
Whether it's Trump's Iran fucking stupidity, whether it's not getting rid of these warehouses that we set up for the Brexit transition. I mean, no, Brexit, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Why are people being going after you know immigrants? They're going after people who are trans. They're going after people. What a waste of time. Like, haven't we got better things to get on with in our lives? Like on the more important things happening around the world, like I don't know, climate change.
Mm.
I'm just looking at everything, just going, what a waste of time. By the way, I just wanted to go back for a second about the new prime minister of Bangladesh. His party's called the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. So that means that it's the BNP. Centre right there. I think his mum was prime minister, and his granddad was prime minister, and it's a big prime minister dynasty, a bit like Tulip Sadiq's family, who are also a dynasty of people who go into politics and become prime ministers around the world. Like the Bushes. I don't think the
Mm.
Clintons are going to try that, though, are they?
Oh, that's what we've got coming up. Look
Next week.
soon. The Yeah, Hillary Clinton in front of the is testifying.
Yeah, yeah. Next Thursday it
Yeah,
is. Well, week on
so
Thursday.
I expect that to be an absolute dumpster fire, if I'm honest,
Do you
because
reckon?
the I think the Republicans are going to just like lay into it. It's like going to be the Benghazi trials all over again, essentially. Uh,
Benghazi.
I mean, I think again, these obviously this should happen, and she's been very open and said, yeah, I'll gladly testify, but everyone should be testifying as well, in these things, and I don't even think she has been mentioned as far as I'm aware. I don't think she has been mentioned in the Epstein files. I know Bill has been,
Hmm.
Clinton has been mentioned, but I don't think she has.
I think she has, but like in passing, just
Yeah,
talking about it. Janis Joplin's in the fucking files. I mean, she died a long time ago. She died in the 70s. Like, I mean, she's gone. She's not part of Epstein Island. I think
yeah.
Epstein was about 16 when she died. Yeah. But anyone who had the passing reference, but they have gone through those files and taken out any references to Trump.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah, well, it won't be. Yeah, as a good point as Donovan has just pointed out. Yeah, it won't be like the Pam Bondi hearings. Oh my
Oh my
word.
god,
Oh my word. If I had known that had gonna be that bad,
to the live stream.
I would have got I would have stacked up on popcorn and I would have just sat here on stream live streaming it because oh my word. You see the
It
highlights
was,
of it?
yeah. I've only seen the highlights. I mean,
Yeah.
I jumped in a couple of times when she was being asked questions, but the thing was, it kind of alternated between the Democrats and she went fucking ballistic, and then the Republicans would start asking her questions, and it would just be like, "Would you just like us to tickle your tummy?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, that'd be nice."
Yeah.
So like listening to the whole thing, I think was a bit much, but those highlights and her going about the Dow being 50,000. And what I've
Yeah.
noticed is normally when this kind of shit goes down, the White House makes a big fuss about the fact that that everyone's a gobshite, um, but they haven't defended her on this time.
Yeah.
They've been very quiet about not saying about saying like she's obviously cuckoo because she is, um, but that's the kind of person that they encourage to join the Republican Party these days, or the MAGA Party as it
The
is
MAGA
now.
party, yeah.
The MAGA Party. But yeah, so yeah, we've got news coming out of Mexico that like kidnappings have increased, they've doubled in the last year, in the last few years. I think they've doubled. There's a huge problem in uh in in Mexico with I'm trying to find the fucking my notes on this. Jesus Christ, I can't find my notes on it. I'll just sort of go like this. Oh yeah, disappearances. Now, in the last 10 years, disappearances have gone up by 200%. That's 130,000 people missing or disappeared.
Oh,
And this is about drug cartels, expansion and the state struggling to control territory. And this is the thing about like Mexico and the whole of Central America, to be honest with you, it's just damned by geography because you've got the drugs coming up from South America and the guns coming down from America. Who's stuck in the middle with all these
yeah.
guns flooding in and then all these drugs flooding in? And the drugs are trying to get into America because they're the only fuckers who can afford them.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really, really quite grim. Oh, we got another super chat from Tim
Oh,
Ballum. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Homeland Security is abusing administrative subpoenas to identify government critics online.
what?
Oh yeah, that was
They're abusing their power? You don't say.
yeah, that was something that we would have mentioned yet last week if we'd done an episode of Geoscope. The Ring doorbell thing. Did you see this at
No, I
the
didn't see
Super
this.
Bowl? So during the Super Bowl, there was an advert for Ring doorbells, right, which had the little camera on them, and they showed how a dog had got lost, and they got all the neighborhood cameras to turn on to look for the dog, and they found the dog. It was supposed to be framed as like this heartwarming story, and loads of people watched it and went, "What the
That's a bit
fuck?
creepy, that. That's a
What the?"
bit, yeah, that's a
So
bit odd.
basically, if they're looking for someone who's, I don't know, committed a crime or isn't white, they can turn on the doorbells of all these different people and take the data from them. And they're like, "Yay, we're helping." It's totally Black Mirror, man. It's totally Black Mirror. It's
Yeah.
really a bit, yeah, disconcerting to say the very least. So
Oh,
yeah,
and
go on.
speaking of Canadian news,
Yeah,
Mark Carney is really following through on after his UN speech. He's really moved forward on that with his idea of right, we're gonna basically go right. There are main powers. We're now going to create middle powers now that have joined together just as
yeah.
much power as these large
So he's
powers.
bringing together
So
the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the
yep,
EU, isn't he? And we're
yep. So
part of
he's
the
bringing them all
Trans-Pacific
together.
Partnership, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Britain's part of that. So it's like we're going to get dragged back into the EU by Mark Carney via Vietnam.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Brexiteers to start flipping out when some of that stuff starts happening. Because
Of,
this was the thing we were meant to join to escape from the EU.
yeah, yeah,
But the other thing he's doing as well is he's they are now apparently deconnecting a lot of their 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 military technology and their military alliance from the US, which is huge
Yeah, yeah,
because up until now, you would have never have seen that. Canada and the US were pretty much like, we are, joined at the hip. We are going to work together. Our militaries are going to be like, pretty much in cahoots on this one. So the fact that they've turned around and just gone, yeah, no, we're going to just, start building our own stuff now is a huge shift, a
yeah.
huge shift for Canada to do that, and that's again because of Mark Carney really following through on what he said after the NATO stuff and the
Oh
NATO
yeah,
speech, the UN
yeah.
speech. So yeah, he's really following through on that.
Good on him. Lissuin, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. For the confetti, oh, we only need
Ooh.
one more. We're saying, yeah, distract from the island. Distract from the island. Blue Badgers responding to Paula saying it was more dumb than that. The Russians were sending the locations of the dishes to, so they paid to be extremely friendly with a drone who then knew where to look for them. Blue Badger says, when they make a biographical of Putin's life, they'll end up doing the death of Stalin and call it 3 days to fail. Catching up, so 5 minutes behind. Yeah, it's 3 day special military operation. So this have you heard about this case in America where there's a newsreader called Susan Guthrie, and
Yes.
she's like our Suzanne thingy off breakfast TV, and her mum got fucking an 84-year-old mum. Was it got
Yeah.
kidnapped? So this is
She's
Nancy
been missing
Guthrie,
for like 2 weeks, I think now. Yeah.
and there's this really disturbing. That's what I thought of this really disturbing doorbell footage of this guy in a balaclava turn up. Like, what the fuck? And the Americans are going on about how dangerous fucking Britain is. How dangerous. Oh, don't go to London. You'll
Mm.
die. And it's like, really, really. That's the line you're going with,
Yeah, and she was
America.
one of the wealthiest suburbs in Texas, I believe. Not San Antonio? Not Austin. Can't remember what it was called now. Can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's kind of puts that all to rest. But we'll see what
Tucson.
happens when
It's
they
Tucson, Arizona.
song that's it. Yeah. I'd be very interested to see who's been behind this kidnapping when it comes out, because I think they've got some new leads apparently on that
It just appears so
that they're chasing.
fucking random, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's really weird, but I think she's been targeted, I think, because of her daughter. I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, just to go back to the Iran thing,
Wait for the Netflix documentary about it,
yeah.
essentially.
So there's a story about Iran saying, this is 2 hours ago, saying that guiding principles have been agreed with the US regarding the nuclear talks. I think you're absolutely right. I think it's going to have the same exact text
The exact
as
same.
what Obama had,
Yeah.
and they just deleted the name and just changed it at the top to the Donald Trump Memorial Peace Garden of Peace
The Donald Trump
Treaty. I
Iran
don't know.
deal, essentially.
Yeah, something like that. I did. He got hit with the whole thing about building the ballroom, and they've had to stop working on it because they haven't
Oh
got
yeah.
permission and all that kind of stuff.
I,
What?
I I
What?
still can't believe that even went through and that started happening. I mean,
Yeah. So you got any other? You got any other news stories? We've only got
yes,
7 minutes
Japan,
left.
because
Oh,
this
go
we
on.
were,
Take
we
us
were
to
going to
Japan.
talk about this about Japan last week
The
as well.
Margaret Thatcher of Japan.
Yeah.
Who's now just won a landslide in a snap election.
Yeah, this is interesting because it's causing a lot of rift now between China and Japan. They China does not like her one bit at all, to the point where she's been caricatured as what's the general's name? The guy, the Prime Minister of Japan during World War II, can't remember his name now.
The king was Hirohito.
No, not Hirohito, the
No,
Prime Minister. Who
don't
was in
know.
charge?
Don't
Can't
know.
remember his
Wasn't
name
there?
now. Yeah, I can't remember his name now, but yeah, she's been absolutely like caricatured as like um him. And one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of is it has sparked a very, very big conversation around like foreign tourism in Japan.
Mm,
You might see them do something about like foreign tourists and maybe even crack down more on people visiting Japan, or maybe like have laws around like foreign tourists, which is really, really like scary,
yeah.
honestly. Which is also going to damage their tourist industry as well. You know, after COVID, the Japanese tourist industry, they were in lockdown. One of the longest, like they were one of the longest countries still in
Mm,
lockdown. Um,
that's true.
After it all happened, and like the
Yeah.
Japanese tourist industry was pretty much on its knees begging to like be reopened, and they relented in some way, said, okay, right, well, we'll allow you to do like guided tours only, but if you were a tourist, you could go, you could do your guided tour, and then you weren't allowed out of your hotel. And
Right.
that was
Right.
it.
Yeah.
For like quite a while. So if this follows through, they've also Chinese tourists have also stopped visiting Japan as well because of this election. There's been a massive wave in like cancelled bookings from Chinese tourists. Uh, so I think the Japanese tourist industry and sector might be in a lot of trouble in the not too distant future.
Yeah. So we got a couple of super chats in, which is nice. Also, that triggered the confetti. Hurrah! So we've got Tim Ballum. Lots of US aircraft left the UK towards Iran. Why? I don't know. Didn't send any off. Um, um, there's some protests going on. There's US surveillance jets which have been tracked from Alaska to UK air base. That's what you're talking about. This is public flight tracking, shows two US Air Force specialist radar aircraft flew overnight from Alaska to the UK. A new deployment of American military jets. And as the US continues to put pressure on Iran, we've also seen footage showing one of Tehran's newest warships sailing in the Gulf in the Strait of Hormuz, which is a bit worrying because that's a little gap between the little bit of the UAE and Oman, because Oman has a little exclave in
Yep.
the UAE as well, surrounded by the UAE and Iran on the other side of it. And if ships can't get through there, then the gas tankers that we rely on to keep our houses warm and our electricity going, because we need the gas from Qatar, can't get through, which is the big worry there, and that little tiny bit. But yeah, the USS Abraham Lincoln has been seen off the coast of Oman. Oh man, that's what they said. They all went, oh man. Oh man, look at that aircraft carrier. Ms. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. The funny thing about the US attempts to say London is unsafe, that they used footage that was obviously from New York to try and prove it. Oh my god. Graham Price, thank you very much. 26 months a member. Keep up the good work, Graham. Oh, thank you very much, Graham. That's very nice of you. And in celebration of these super chats and the fact that Graham has been a member for 26 months and he's a superstar, I'm going to release the confetti. Woo! Yeah, so good. We've only got a couple of minutes, and then we're going to shunt everyone over to our friend Maximilian Robespierre, who is doing a live stream from 8:30. Sorry, quick to the time machine. Is there anything else, Ollie, that you had on your list of things for the show?
Oh, a student in Scotland has made a massive sock monkey sculpture using nearly over 200 foot of corduroy.
Wow.
Mm. So yeah,
Cool.
massive, you know, massive sock statue.
That
If you're into
that
that,
wasn't what I was expecting you to say. Is
yeah.
any more news around the world? Yeah, well, in New Zealand, they just had this big
Oh,
big sock puppet, big corduroy
this is
sock puppet.
an interesting one because this is something from my generation. Logan Paul's Pikachu Illustrator Pokemon card has sold for over $16.5 million
What?
at
What?
auction. Yeah.
Logan Paul's a gobshite, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's the fact that that has sold for that. I think this could now set off a Pokemon speculator boom. Because this is the type of thing that we saw um prior to like the comics boom, where like the number one issue of like Action Comics featuring like Superman's first appearance were like sold for like a ridiculous amount, which kicked off the speculator boom. So it could maybe kick off something very similar in this type of thing. So, if you did collect Pokemon cards back in the day, check your binders, check your folders. Do you have anything that, you might suddenly be sitting on a gold mine, sell it quickly rather than wait to sell it?
Wow. It's housed in uh, a diamond encrusted box. There were 40 of them made in 1998. 40. That's
Mm.
that's quite a few, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it? So yeah, keep hold
Yeah.
of your
But you
Pokemon
know who
cards.
who bought it? Who was the
S-
winning bidder?
Some other
It was
arsehole.
no, it was Anthony Scaramucci's son. He bought it.
Do you know
This
what
is a
though? This is one of
bizarre
those things
thing.
where it's only valuable because people say it's valuable. Do you know, it's like artwork, isn't it? I suppose this is sort of millennial artwork because the millennials aren't interested in buying, old pieces
Yeah,
of
we
art by
don't care about,
Rubens or
fine art stuff.
Michelangelo
We
or
we want our
Da
wild
Vinci or
Pokemon cards. What we
Rembrandt.
need to do is bring back the Digimon. That's what we need. We need to have like a Digimon revival.
But yeah, so yeah, there's loads of people going through the attic now looking for Pokemon cards. It was from 1998. I wonder how much I could sell my set of Burger King Pokemon toys because I got the entire set back in '98.
It
The
might be worth
meals.
something if you can find the right collector and you find the right
I
audience.
say
It
I
might be
got
worth
all of them.
something.
Don't know. They're in my mum's attic somewhere. Oh, anyway, I could be rich beyond my wildest dreams, Ollie. Oh, thanks for that. But yeah, Logan Paul, he's the one who got knocked out, didn't he? Having a
Yeah,
fight and
got absolutely.
Anthony Joshua, was he
Yeah,
Anthony Joshua?
I think so. Or
Oh,
it was either that or
because there were two at the
or
same time,
Tate because
wasn't
it
there?
was at the same time. Yeah,
Yeah,
can't remember who was
both got
boxing, but yeah, he
absolutely fucking
absolutely
pulverized.
destroyed him.
Yeah. Anyway, my God, Pokemon cards. Okay, right. Ollie, thank you so much. And also, Tim Ballum, thank you so much for the last super chat there. Isn't the ownership of this card questionable? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know
I don't know.
about that.
It's just a picture of Pikachu holding two big paintbrushes. Our favourite electric mouse. Do you know how to tell what the difference between a male Pikachu and a female Pikachu? If they've got a rounded tail, like a B-shaped tail, they're a female. If they've got a straight tail, then they're a male. True story. And they can only say their own name. They can only say Pikachu. So they're a bit like Hodor from Game of Thrones. So there is a chance that Hodor from Game of Thrones was actually a Pikachu. Sorry, it's actually a Pokemon. Could happen. Anyway, right, say hello to Maximilian for us if you head over that way. And I'll be back in the morning at 9 o'clock with Morning Brew. And also, before we go, can you just give us a like? If you like a like. And if all goes well, say hello to Max for us. And I'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for the super chats. And hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.